Scott. Thanks for joining me on the York Sports Report show today. It is day one of the Masters. Billy Payne last night opened up his Redneck Hillbilly trap. We'll talk about Billy Payne, the chairman of Augusta. Vancouver Canucks in San Jose tonight. A meaningless game, really. Not meaningless for the San Jose Sharks. They are still in a dogfight for first place overall with the Chicago Blackhawks. Blackhawks win last night. That's their fifth in a row. Hossa gets a little bruised up last night, but nothing too serious. The word on the street is that Hossa will not miss any time. Good news there in Chicago, though, is Brian Campbell has returned to the ice lightly. Let's don't get too far ahead of ourselves, but Brian Campbell is back on the skates. That's a good thing. Versteeg had a big night, a few points. Andrew Ladd, Fraser, Brouwer all chipping in with some points last night. Coach Quenneville did say last night it's a rarity that when guys like Taine and Caves don't get points. It is a bonus to this team when guys like Ladd and Versteeg and Brouwer and Fraser and the rest of the crew can chip in a little bit here. So that is a good thing. Blackhawks played a back-to-back situation last night. When the Hawks are playing back-to-back, they're 16-1. So that's a good thing. We'll quickly sort of switch over to the Masters here, briefly here. Tiger Woods is going to be hitting his first ball in about exactly 2 hours from now, 10:40 a.m. Pacific time. Billy Payne is the chairman of Augusta, and he's an idiot. He's a big-time idiot. Billy Payne decided to open up the curtains, go to the front stage, and stand there and more or less say that, Tiger, you really let us down, and you let our kids down, and you let our grandkids down. Who the hell does this guy think he is? I mean, seriously, does this guy think he's Tiger Woods' daddy or something? I mean, this is just absolute BS. This guy stands there, and he's the representation of Augusta. Folks, I don't know if you know this about Augusta, but when Tiger Woods first came and sort of hit the golf scene, up to, I believe, in the mid-'90s or the early '90s, Augusta had issues with women in the clubhouse. Augusta had issues with blacks in the clubhouse. So here's a guy that's more or less living on paychecks brought to you by Tiger Woods. Don't think for 1 second. Every person that works in these majors isn't getting a little slice from the Tiger Woods contribution. This is absolute horse crap. For him to get up there, you've let our kids down and you've let our grandkids down. It's boisterously piggish. It makes no sense why he would be saying anything like this now. I mean, it does make sense because it's like, hey, boy, don't you know? Don't you know? We're in charge here. Don't you know? You let us down. Tiger Woods didn't let anybody down. Tiger Woods let his family down. That's who he let down. He didn't let down Billy Payne or any of the other chairmen at any other majors in the United States. He didn't let anybody down. Folks, this always comes back to greed, okay? When Nike and Cadillac and MasterCard or American Express or whomever it was that got Tiger to sign on the dotted line, cross his I's, cross his T's, all that stuff, they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were making money. And that's how the media likes to spin everything. It's always about money. When Time Warner and whomever got a phone call from Nike and said, hey, guess what? We got Tiger Woods. Time Warner was like, worry, we'll give you lots of airtime because they're going to get a cut. But in none of those commercials did Tiger Woods say, hey, I'm Tiger Woods and I'm the greatest golfer in the world. And plus, you should listen to me. Plus, you should watch me. Plus, you should watch how I act off golf courses. Tiger Woods never said that. Nike never put into his contracts and said, Tiger, now you get out there and you be a good person. Are you going to seriously try and convince me that at the lounges and the bars at Augusta, guys don't sit there and badmouth their wives and badmouth their wives' girlfriends and all that stuff? Are you kidding me? I mean, give me a break, folks. This is just absolute brutal. And now Nike, again, here we go again. This is all about money. Tiger Woods didn't have a fabulous upbringing. Tiger Woods had a taskmaster for a father, and we already know that. That's not being mean. That's not being, judgmental. Tiger Woods had a father that was all about discipline. And now Nike is running a commercial about what were you thinking? What were you feeling? Did Tiger Woods' dad ask him that when he was a kid? We've already read and heard all the stories that his dad was a general marshal just screaming in this poor kid's ear while he's trying to putt the golf ball. Makes no sense. But the other thing of this whole Tiger Woods commercial is that Tiger Woods' dad was a womanizer, and he liked his Budweiser. Not going to judge the guy. Not going to judge the guy at all. But now Nike is just, I don't get it. I don't get the spin on this. I mean, I know what this again. This is about money. This is all about money. This is a humongous production, and Augusta loves every second of it. We get to still be the boss. We can stand out there and say, hey, don't you know who I am? Don't you ever act like that again, sunshine. That's horse crap. Who is this guy? Again, this isn't Tiger Woods' old man or anything like that. It's garbage. It's absolute just, I just couldn't believe it. And here's the funny thing, is that when guys like this get on camera and they start shooting their mouth off, it's usually, the funny thing is it's usually these guys later on that get busted for getting caught in the back alley with an 18-year-old prostitute. I love this stuff because guarantee it, this guy's going to get humbled very, very quickly. May not happen too soon, but it's going to happen eventually. I just thought it was just very, very egotistic for Billy Payne to come out and just throw up more or less on Tiger Woods again. You know, I'm going to say this about Tiger Woods right now. Here's the guy that goes to rehab for 45 days. Whether it's gambling, sex, alcohol, drugs, whatever. If you go to rehab and you sit there and you shut your mouth and you get honest, and I mean honest, and you really sincerely sort of shut your mouth and you kind of take things in, credit to you. Credit to you, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that think they're too smart, they think they're too old, or they're too young, they're too good looking, or they have too much money. Tiger Woods, you know, he's got a lot of money, he's a young guy, he's not a bad looking kid. He goes into rehab and, you know, he sticks it out for 45 days. His actions, yes, are going to be what sort of, you know, prove to his family. He doesn't need to prove anything to me. And he sure as hell doesn't have to prove anything to Augusta or Billy Payne. You know, Charles Barkley, I mean, speaking of Charles Barkley, I mean, people knew Tiger Woods, that really knew Tiger Woods in the golfing community, that knew Tiger Woods. I mean, there's a lot of reports that they knew this stuff was going on. They knew that Tiger Woods was no saint. I mean, look at him on the course. He's breaking clubs. He's dropping F-bombs left and right. Secret doesn't.